Hello everyone, my name is Hemanta. We are Group 37 and my team members are Sailesh, Thapa, Magar and Phaiju. The presentation topic is Internet of Things IoT. In this presentation, we'll be discussing about introduction, history, working principles, ethical issues and challenges, and ethical initiatives of IoT. The IoT seems to be a system of interconnected computers, mechanical and virtual artifacts that have unique identifiers and are capable of transferring data through a network using human interaction. An individual with the heart rate monitor device, the wild creature with the biochip transmitter, a car with the integrated sensor to inform the user about low pneumatic pressure, or indeed any natural or artificial entity connected via an Internet Protocol handle which is allowed to transmit data across a network may be a part of the Internet. These technologies can be solely software based and can be integrated into advanced computers, driverless cars, and the web for application using the efficient sensor, photo processing softwares, web browsers, facial recognition, and many other technologies. IoT adds strength to the actual physical world artifacts from the internet to data analysis. This means for customers communicating with global communication system without the need for mouse and camera. Many of their daily items and devices will use this system with minimum human interference. IoT will produce and distribute physically the same efficiencies that Internet has provided for information work for several years in company situations. IoT has to find out how to resolve specific tasks itself. That is how and when to effectively navigate, usually by testing and debugging. The limitations are both monitored and uncontrolled. Learning the coaching information set must be genuinely reflective of the given specification with deep classification. Let's talk about the history. Another side of oldest convention of science technology is future of all present linked computers and sensors. In 1970, IoT lore called the Carnegie-Mellon Cells Engine connected with the ARPANET, the very first items web and several innovations have been developed to give intelligent IoT style features a futuristic look. However, in 1999, British system engineer Kevin Ashton invented the phrase Internet of Things. The technology was initially lagging behind the site. For all the internet linked items to communicate ideally wired with another thing, cost or electricity consumption were introduced that did not result in the popular IoT rollouts at most until Morris legislation was encountered in the middle of 20th century.
An IoT system consists of sensor device which talk to the cloud through some kind of connectivity. Once the data gets to the cloud, software processes it and then might decide to perform an action such as sending an alert or automatically adjusting the sensors without the need for the user. But if the user input is needed or if the user simply wants to check in on the system, a user interface allows them to do so. Any adjustments or actions that the user makes are then sent in the opposite direction through the system, from the user interface to the cloud and then back to the sensors or devices to make some kind of change. So let's talk about the ethical issues and challenges. Ethics are moral rules governing the behavior of an individual or the performance of an action. One example is that everyone is treated with dignity as an ethical concept. In the context of ethics, questions about, for example, data protection and prejudice in existing systems are immediately addressed. For instance, questions about the effects of technologies on existing employment and workplace, and long term questions about systems' potential to achieve or surpass human equivalence. Those groups who do not have a connection to the web could be discriminated against by IoT. Many nations and families with lower incomes have no web access, therefore, they are unable to enjoy the advantages the internet provides. That is to say, families who have funds to buy any of these appliances are even more wealthy. This will ultimately cost less socio-economic households more often and reduce inequities in high cultural groups. Privacy. The fundamental issues with the protection of information is that many IoT modules have connected sensors. For instance, cameras, microphones, or other sensors collect data about the area and link to this distant area, such as the database or some own server. Mobile phones with sensors are not so concerned simply by this feature. Big data is yet another element affecting privacy. Innovation is now at the stage of recording long term information for anybody that generates storable information, including bills, agreements, electronic devices, or bad credit, not to include all public communication and use of social media. Digital documents can be checked using information processing techniques, which means we lost the privacy presumption by anonymity definition. All of us may recognize our retail or social networking site habits through face recognition technology or data extraction. These online activities can be indicative of not only our personality but also our social or financial behavioral patterns. Machine learning helps us to analyze information and compare new trends and can transform appearing harmless data into confidential information. For instance, social networking trends may predict types of personality, political views, and even results of existence. Machine based systems need exposure to vast volumes of data, but participants have restricted rights with the use of the information. New regulations to safeguard citizens' privacy were recently implemented by the EU. The rules apply still. Nevertheless, some other ethical problem concerns how a participant participating in the training should not reveal the identity or private details of a prototype, the ability to be traced from and to recognize the source of a model or to which it is being exchanged or passed on, the rights to be erased from a classification network, and the freedom to voice the desire that the template not be used in potential should be granted extra safeguards. The rights to use data for the construction of the model must be given. Human rights. IoT has major impact on freedom and the rights of citizens to personal and dignified lives. For example, it could be used to decide a person's political opinions. It can be possible for citizens in our culture to be manipulative. Political operatives may use this approach to decide who electors are likely to be trusted and to alter or reduce their likelihood of voting and use tools to convince them to do just that. The results of previous elections also in the UK is being allegedly greatly influenced by such a policy. Conversely, if they can evaluate and assess people's emotions, these people may face harassment from bashing people to lost employment opportunities by others who do not support their beliefs. In certain societies, it may lead to an individual being detained or even killed.
Another ethical issue and challenge is labor market. In finance, space travel, advanced production, transport, energy growth, and health. Currently, machine technology is widely used. Other roles that needed human interference are unmanned trucks and automatic drones. As machines are becoming more advanced, innovative, and flexible, however, more workers are influenced by technology as well as more roles are obsolete. The effects of automation are already evident for users. The workers' replacement by technology has been worrying for centuries. The destruction of jobs and the permanent damage to the labor market was anticipated by globalization and automation. Computers and more importantly, technology including machines and computer technologies. Next one we're gonna talk about is trust. Following the model of self-driving cars, communication between vehicles would be required for these independent vehicles to function effectively. The difficulty of such teamwork would probably need AI not only for specific vehicle judgment as well as for the complicated process as a whole. Recent research indicates that 90% of the consumer lack confidence in IoT device security. Besides, we need certain assurance that action deal with our best views to have confidence in elements and then the whole process. A survey done in Australia, Canada, France, Japan, the UK, and the US revealed that the 63 of consumers found connected device creepy. The last ethical issue is related to IoT is social alienation. Our society is becoming more and more impersonal as digitalized machines have replaced humans. Our daily activities like working, banking, paying bills, shopping, etc., has been transformed online. This has created a sense of loneliness and absence of social interaction. So now let's talk about the ethical initiatives related to IoT. The development, application, and impacts of Internet of Things are accompanied by numerous ethical concerns. These include potential impacts of IoT on basic citizenship
civil rights in a social structure, the safety and use of collected data, prejudicial behavior, and prejudice involving the unintended incorporation into IoT of the same group of developers, and inadequate public knowledge and experience regarding the impact of the design and use of them, resulting in misunderstanding. In future version of this system, it will be necessary to resolve the limitations so that full impact of progress in future can be adequately prepared. Normative and regulatory structure would need to be updated along with the advancement of the application itself to explain the question of accountability for IoT behavior. Also, the creation of feasible and effective laws and policies to address the multifaceted problems, including possible violation of basic moral values, is necessary. This is the statistics which shows that the use of IoT in different sectors worldwide, which claims that the IoT consumption is increasing every year. To conclude, the Internet of Things and past ICT and computer innovation will also face a variety of related ethical issues. Although technology can be used for good, it can be misused. In the event of informed consent being misinterpreted, privacy or data protection threats abound. There are also dangers of confidence when it is not adequately tended to. Therefore, we as human beings should have the ability to flow smoothly with the currents of expertise. Acquiring increased knowledge related to the new fields and our capacity to make a change is important in becoming successful. Therefore, the future of IoT is unlimited due to the advancement in our technology and consumer aspiration to unite with the machines. IoT are discussed almost everywhere around the world as we pursue to appreciate the way it will impact our lives.